A real challenge in meeting DFAR 7012 and anticipated CMMC is understanding what cloud environments and services will be available given the equivalent standards. So FedRAMP authorized environments or products are simply unattainable for some companies. Do you have any insight, given this is foundational in the underlying shared responsibility model? And I know we talked about FedRAMP a little bit earlier in 7012.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the FedRAMP being unattainable. There are a fair number of FedRAMP services out there, very well-known ones. Obviously, Microsoft, AWS, Oracle, there's lots of them out there. So there's lots of FedRAMP services out there that you can leverage. If you're talking about FedRAMP equivalency, what is the definition of FedRAMP equivalency? And I'm going to let Jacob jump into this in a little bit as well.
The equivalency idea, right, is something that we're really hoping is going to be clarified in the rulemaking. This is one thing that is people should look forward to in the rulemaking, is some programmatic definition of what does equivalency mean. The short and sweet answer is if you don't have a FedRAMP certification to substitute in for proving that the work was done, you have to walk through all of the assessment procedures for the FedRAMP moderate baseline in order to demonstrate equivalency to the certification.
Now, there has been a proposal made to the DoD that the equivalency would, to get FedRAMP, you have to have government customers. Okay. Right. It's a JAB-based program where you have to have a government customer for your cloud service, and you have to go through the process to get FedRAMP certified that way. So companies that don't necessarily work with government and only work with, commercial companies, they can't go through the formal FedRAMP process, right? So how do you get FedRAMP equivalency? Well, you can do what's called FedRAMP Ready. And so you can go through the FedRAMP Ready process, and there has been some talk about the FedRAMP Ready designation being the equivalent definition of FedRAMP moderate. Now, Jacob, you want to talk a little bit about that or add any color to that?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of being FedRAMP ready, right? There's, essentially going up to the point where you have enlisted the help of an external assessor to walk through these procedures short of going through the actual final certification. So it is effectively going through all the motions of doing the verification process, but skipping the certification at the end. I mean, it is a significant problem, because the DoD said, okay, especially at the time when DFAR 7012 was written, it was even harder to get into FedRAMP or get access to FedRAMP, especially as a small business. So they said, well, you don't need to have the certification for these services if you want to leverage them, but they have to be at least equivalent. Now, there is a large assumption that people knew what equivalency meant based off of everybody's reaction to the idea that assessment procedures exist, and that is how you determine equivalency. There are a lot of gaps in terms of what people are leveraging versus what they think is okay.